Welcome to another installment of Blackmail Blog. The fourth installment. Thank you, Ari. By the way, when I'm talking to you, Ari is in the room listening. Welcome to the fourth installment of Blackmail Blog. I just want you, I know you're all really shocked. I know last week actually I got a lot of feedback on my last blog because of the beard thing, and I know you're really shocked because guess what? It's still there. Well, I'll tell you, I was going to say my shaver broke or my dog ate it, but in truth, I decided just to shave. I found this shaver in my house that has these attachments, and you can shave as much as you want, and it doesn't go off. It's a pretty amazing experience, so I thought I'd try that for a while. But in truth, I'm letting it go until my wife says she hates it. And other people have been saying that I'm actually trying to be more like a celebrity and famous, like these guys. Shia LaBeouf, I don't exactly know how you pronounce his name, but he's got sort of like that manly beard thing going. And more importantly, my good friend Adam Sandler, who's coming out this summer, he's got that manly beard also. So perhaps, are you getting that, Ari? So maybe that's why I'm keeping the beard. I just want to be more hip. All right. Anyways, this week is actually is the preparatory week before Shavuot. We're really turning the corner on the 7 weeks of seven of Shavuot, and I thought I'd leave you with an idea for the week that you could actually keep with you as you enter into this one profound holiday. You know, when you think about all the other holidays that exist out there, if I tell you Sukkot, what do you think about? Of course, soup. No, I'm joking, because I always have soup in the sukkah, and the rain falls down in the soup. It's very complicated. But on Sukkot, we actually have an etrog, a lulav, hadassim, arava, the sukkah itself. I think of sukkah, I think of particular items. If I said to you Hanukkah, you think sufganiyot, of course. No, you'd also think about the Hanukkah candles and the oil and the wonderful miracles that have occurred. And when you think of Pesach, what do you think of? You think of course, indigestion. No, we're talking about matzah and charein and wonderful foods that we serve, and every holiday is associated with some time. If I think of Purim, you're thinking of Hamantashen, right? Every holiday has its symbols, its food, it's some kind of integrated components that make Jewish life very real. But if I tell you Shavuot, what does Shavuot have? Right, nothing. And the reason for that is, that's the question. Why is it that God made a holiday that is so significant that actually, I'm going to tell you something even more silly and even stranger, that we don't actually know the exact date of the giving of the Torah from Mount Sinai. That the Gemara actually says it's either the 6th or the 7th of the month of Sivan, right? And it even says, we know it came down on Shabbos, and Moses brought it down on Shabbos because the holiest day had to have the holiest moment, but we're not sure why. Why is it, two questions, we're going to answer both questions with one answer. Why is it that the Jewish holiday of Shavuot has neither any objects that help us focus our attention and help us relive the experience? And why is it that the Talmud, written 2,500 years ago by the greatest sages of our people, greatest sages and minds of the world, did not know the exact date of the giving of the Torah? And the answer, my friends, is the following. Shavuot has nothing to do with commemorating an event that happened in the history of the world. Shavuot is an event that happens every single year. Because the idea of Shavuos is that we, as a Jewish people, reinvigorate ourselves. We reconnect to a Torah, not that happened 2,000, 3,000, or 4,000 years ago. It happened right now. The giving of the Torah happens right now. What is Passover? When we think about Passover, we eat the matzah to remember an episode that happened many, many, many years ago, that the Jewish people were enslaved and that we left Egypt. We eat the charein to remember the bitterness and the pain of our brothers and sisters. And if you sit in a sukkah, what are you remembering? You're remembering the fact that the Jewish people left Egypt and they sat in huts in the desert. But in Shavuot, there is nothing to commemorate the date because it is not about a historical event. It's about a reinvigorating of today's experience of the Jewish people reconnecting with their God. With us, Sinai happens every day, all the time. When a Jew opens up a sefer, a book, a siddur, a Torah book, that experience reignites that relationship of Sinai. Sinai, the Mount Sinai, the experience of the Jewish people reconnected on Har Sinai, happens again and again every time a Jew opens the book. And that's why perhaps the rabbis tell us that there is no understanding of the exact day of the giving of the Torah. It's not so critical to know that, the giving of the Torah. And that's why the Talmud actually does not give us an exact date of the giving of the Torah. Because although it's a critical episode, and without the giving of the Torah, all that we know and all that we understand in this world would not be. The Torah is the basics of not only Judaism, but the basis of the entire world. The rabbis did not know the exact date because it wasn't as critical to know. The event itself, the giving of the Torah, was critical, but the exact moment of its giving was not so critical because it's not about a moment in time that's so relevant. It's about every moment in time, as I mentioned earlier. So that's the reason that we don't know exactly the day of the giving of the Torah, and that's the reason there are no articles, no items that identify with this particular holiday. Because the holiday is not about any moment in history where we have to look back and say to ourselves, oh yes, right, once upon a time the Jewish people used to learn Torah. Today we learn Torah. Today we're animated. Today we are engaged. Today we're in yeshivot. Today we open our books. Today we reconnect with God. Today all of us are on the top of Mount Sinai receiving the Torah, just like Moses, our forefather, stood on the top of Mount Sinai receiving the Torah. Ladies and gentlemen, have an amazing Shavuos.